Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 story from Dorking Wanderers with me, Daniel. It's season 14, episode 4, and today we've got a bizarre one to go through. We've had a bit of an eventful 2 months. We've nearly lost our job. We've spent most of it with a transfer embargo, so we've not been able to prepare for January. We've spent part of it still trying to work out what's going on with these training facilities, which has got even more puzzling now. And we've also had a bit of a recovery in the Premier League, and got to a cup semi-final for the first ever time. So there are so many positives and a couple of really bad negatives, but as it stands at the moment, things are alright. We have got 2 games in hand in the Premier League, as you can see. One of those today against United, and the other one the reverse fixture against United too. I don't think we've played them on camera since that 9-0 defeat at the start of season 13. So there's going to be a little bit of a memory to be banished today, so I'd really do with a good performance. But for now, we've got plenty to talk about off the pitch before we get into that game. So if you are looking forward to this one, please do put a thumbs up on the video. It does make such a difference. If you've missed any of the season so far, including a massive transfer special and the games that we've played on camera, you can catch up with those in the eye above. And subscribe to the channel down below for daily FM20 content, a weekly live stream every Tuesday morning on the channel, 2 episodes a week from Cricket 19, and the weekly stadium review series on Sunday. There's also my podcast channel, which has a link to in the eye above. We've been interviewing loads of professional footballers, so if you are a football fan, please do check that out. But thank you so much for your incredible support as we head into the second half of the season with Dorking, or what should be if we didn't have games in hand. And we're going to have to start with transfers, because we said we were going to prepare for January and come back and talk about what we've done, and unfortunately we haven't done anything. And the reason for that, bar loaning out a couple of youngsters, is because we've been under transfer embargo most of the time, and that's because we've had a board takeover. So we've now got new owners who never want to relinquish control. They all say that at the start. Let me go and get his name again, because it was a British name. His name is Harry Gardner, but he'd been working over in Italy and he wanted to bring in some luxurious Italian manager. And we were actually at one stage 1 game from the sack. He came in, gave it the "we're looking to give you a chance, but realistically this is the man we want to appoint." We had a couple of okay results, but they weren't happy with some of the other aspects, and our manager performance was an E. There was a couple of areas they weren't willing to rank us on, and the rest weren't great. But we have managed to recover from that, and you saw just at the start there, it's now an A, so we're doing something right. But if we go and have a look at the schedule, before we look at the board, we've got a lot of good news to report on. And that's because since the last episode, following a disappointing home defeat against Burnley, which we'll get to, we've gone on a long unbeaten run, and we've started to look good in front of goal, although we haven't yet sorted out those defensive problems. So if you go through the games quickly, we won 2-0 in the Carabao Cup against Sunderland, Peter McLaughlin rounding it off in the 90th minute, Ibai Nunes with a first half goal. And in the following game, Jeff Coppens put us 2-0 up against Burnley. We finally thought it was over, but the arrogance came in. 3 goals in 12 minutes from the club we're managing in the weekly live stream. And unfortunately, we lost yet again, and at that point, we were within 2 of the relegation zone. We did get a 3-3 draw away at Derby, and we came back from 3-1 down there. Gabriel Martinelli had scored a couple, but Ilya Balic in the last minute, a cracking goal to get us back on terms. Coppens and Lima scoring the others. A 1-1 draw at home to Liverpool. Peter McLaughlin back in the first 11 and back in form. Kieran Pollock picked up an injury though, he's only just coming back today. And then a 0-0 draw at Newcastle as well. I was delighted with this one, probably my favourite one, because we looked good at the back. We were solid, Mertens had a good game. He's also come out as gay actually since the last episode. But we looked defensively good, and that was something important to us. We did follow it up though with 4 wins on the bounce. One of those on penalties in the cup, but still 4 wins. So 4-2 away at Reading, Jerome Yonton on fire with a brace, Peter Carter with an own goal, and Jeff Coppens with a 4th. And then 3-2 at home to West Ham, Peter McLaughlin with a brace and Aaron White getting the goals. Bit more of an old school feel to that one. A 1-1 draw at home to Wolves in the League Cup. It was Jeff Coppens off the bench who saved the day, and then he scored the first penalty too. Carl Boyce missed, but Wolves missed a couple, and we're now into the semi-final where we face City. And if we get through that, it's Everton or Burnley in the final. So that Carabao Cup semi could be unbelievable. Then finally, last time out, we won 2-1 away at Norwich. A late consolation made it look closer, but Aaron White and Jeff Coppens with the goals as we come into form just in time for Christmas. We've got a tough January coming up. Obviously United today before it. We've got a banana skin in the FA Cup. The 2 legs against City, as well as United, Arsenal and Everton in the league. So there is a lot of scope for things to go wrong. Of course, the next episode will be the second leg of that Carabao Cup semi. But we'd like to still be in the tie at that point. But there's so much going on. I mean, the fact we nearly lost our job after the 14 years we've produced here is incredible. Thankfully, the board are now on board with us. They're happy, apart from our set-piece usage. But there's still more problems. And we've talked about this training facilities all season. I said I wanted to wait until the board took over, just in case there was a reason it wasn't happening. But now, if we go to the board request and facilities, we can upgrade all of the youth ones and not the training ones. So how on earth do we assume that this isn't a glitch? I mean, we said we'd talk about this in recent episodes, and we've had a few little discussions about it, but it must be a glitch, mustn't it? Tell me in the comments if there's anything else I can try. I can't get a new contract at the moment, so we can't try that. But otherwise, I don't know what else we can do. It just seems bizarre that as the manager of Dorking Wanderers, who are now in the Premier League, you can improve everything to world-class level, but can't get these training facilities past below average. I've even tried upgrading data analysis in case that was holding it back, but it doesn't seem to be the case. We've got the stadium upgrade coming. There's nothing else that's not happening. Everything else is exceptional, so let me know in the comments your thoughts on that, and we'll readdress it as the season goes on. And we've also got our youth intake preview, last but not least, and this year I'm excited. If we go to this, we should be really optimistic about this group of young players. We've got a new head of youth development in just in the last couple of months, who is beyond world class. I mean, he's been at Ipswich and Wolves, but look at his stats. An incredible coach, an incredible judgment, and a motivator, a determined man. And he's paid dividends. I mean, what a preview we've got there. Looks like fullbacks is definitely the area. Left back in particular is the one that we've got to look out for. So I'm really hoping that doesn't disappoint. If we can produce one quality regen to come to our first team, just to be part of that winning success near the end, that would be the moment. But we are coming towards the end of a cup competition. We might have a chance at a trophy this year, but City's going to be a difficult test. We know that. They're top of the league. They're back on form. But we fancy our chances. Hopefully they'll rest a few. But let's go and get into today's game. It's the one away to United. Let me know in the comments if there's any questions or things that I've missed from the board takeover and all the like that goes with it. I'll just quickly show you the transfer budget. Hasn't really changed. So there's not a great deal to report on. It's just been a like-for-like takeover. No big money, no real changes. Just a consortium handover. So with that, we head into a game which could go drastically wrong. We lost 9-0 to United last season. But this time, we've got Manchester United away, and they are heavy favourites. We're actually in better form than them. Graham Potter's still in charge. They've been dominating football, don't forget, for recent years. But let's see the 11 and 18 we've gone for today. We've got a few back from injury. I did just notice, when I was going through the scores, that Aaron White had been brilliant the last few games. So I'm going to leave him in, actually, despite Balic being fit. But I have brought Kieran Pollock back at right back. We've dropped our fullbacks to support duties, which seems to have coincided with better form. And we had to, really, when we were relying on James, because he's nowhere near as good. But aside from that, I'm fairly happy. I think we've got a good side out. We're pretty much at our strongest 11. Again, possibly Balic for White. But the strongest squad is available, and they're going out today. It's Gabriel Afonso in goal. Pollock and Mazzinho the fullbacks, with Mertens alongside Baker at centre-half. Yonton and Boyce in midfield. Lima and White the wingers, with Peter McLaughlin back in. He has now reassumed the number 10 position. He's improving really well. He's playing really well. Ladawi just dropped off a little in training. Not had the best month or two, although he is gradually coming back now. And then Jeff Coppen's on his own up front. The goal drought's over. He's banging them in. 6 in 17. And now we want to get into double figures. So let's go and get into this game. We've got good changes on the bench if we need them. But let's hope it's not 9-0 again. Anything better is an improvement. 4-3-3 for Manchester United. It's Jones, Smith and Almouda at the front three. Jones we've seen a lot about recently. Arnau at centre-half, someone we tried to sign in the summer. Segovia at right-back, we've had a little dabble with him before as well. Barrow in the holding role, we know's a good pro. Any real players on the bench? I don't think so. Up until last year we'd seen Rashford there still, obviously doing great things in real life. But unfortunately, it looks like he's finally had his time at United. So we're going to get the lads motivated, ask them to prove a point. Jamie Shackleton transfer listed there. We had him with Burnley in the head coach back a few years ago. But let's get Dorking into this first half. Balanced mentality, deeper fullbacks, and hopefully a more respectable result. Corner for United early on, into the box. Mauro with a free header wide of the post. Afonso was getting there, probably had it covered, but with 15 gone, United on top. Here they come again, set pieces again from the right, into Barrow, brilliant save Afonso. Gets to the second one in time and smothers it as well. Really good goalkeeping, we do appreciate stuff like that. And he'll got a chance to go long here. If we can win the flick on though, we might have a chance on the counter. Aaron White does just that, knocks it down for Boyce. He's got a man up with him, goes over the top. Coppen's chasing. Arnold's made a mess. Oh no. Oh no. The keeper and Arnold, the centre half, they got completely mixed up. And Coppen's had an open goal from 5 yards. And he's put it in a side netting. Oh my word. How on earth's that happened? We should be one up here. That was the best chance of the match. And as it is, despite a decent performance, it looks like we're going to go into half-time 0-0. And that was our best chance to be in the lead. Now, don't forget, that game we lost 9-0. We were 0-0 or 1-0 at half-time, or after 42 minutes, something ridiculous, and we ended up throwing it away. So let's get into this second half and hope we keep the concentration. And we start with an attack. Mazzinho finds Boyce, who's lost out, and Zandbergen's on the counter. This is where it all goes wrong for us normally. The counter-attack, Zandbergen skinned the whole team. Oh, it's a great effort. Hits the post, Afonso was beaten. Mertens gets there to clear it for a throw, and United keep the pressure on with Jones. Back to his fullback, now Almeida. Back to Brower again, Barrow. Obviously had a good save in the first half from his header, and back to Mauro, the centre half. Out to the left wing to Brower. Into Almeida, cleared away. Good clearance by Pollock, and Coppens is 1-on-1. He beats his centre half, he's into the box. Oh, his left foot is gone miles wide. He has not got a left foot at all, has he, bless him. It says he's not right only, so he should have better than that, but he has dragged it so far wide, it's unbelievable. An hour on the clock, it's a United corner, and we'll make changes after this. Almeida in, on the line. Oh, it's bobbling around, and it's in. Oh, Patrick Smith. Third time lucky. Didn't get it clear. Mazzinho and Lima were there, but neither of them got there. And in the end, it's punched in for 1-0. Balic is going to come on for White. We started him. It hasn't worked out. And Pollock's had a poor game as well on his return. So James will come on for him. It was never going to do more than an hour. And let's see if we can get a fight back into this. 25 minutes left. Arnold with the ball forward. And this is where we're at risk, because sometimes we collapse here. Almeida in, and the collapse is starting. It's 2. Jonton's rating's gone right down, so we're going to bring Nunes on in the middle. Oh, don't let this get out of hand, please. We're back with United at right back. Just 5 minutes later, and they're on the front foot again. Segovia's long clearance finds Jones. Beats 2, shoots. Afonso saves. But it's all United. The confidence has gone. We're going to demand a bit more, try and get a positive focus. But there's still a few that are frustrated. And the mentality's not right. It goes wrong after a goal or two. We've mentioned this in the comments. People have said, is it determination? The lads across the group generally have got a great determination. The personalities are good. The dressing room atmosphere is good. I just don't know what causes it. Zandbergen back to Davis. I can only put it down to inexperience and young players. But even a lot of these now have been here for a year, 2, 3. They've played 100 senior games. It shouldn't be happening. But here's Davis on the right. Back to Zandbergen. We've held off United for a while, but this risks getting a third now. Francois, back to Zandbergen. Delamari, out to the left-hand side. Almeida loses out, the second scorer, but it finds Brower. Into Delamar. They're keeping it so comfortably. A lovely switch of play, and it finds Francois, and he's got an overlap to Davis. Surely this is their chance to deliver. Davis into the box. Mazzinho can't touch him. He tried to trip him, but he got through, and Afonso forced into another save. 4 minutes of stoppage time played. United were on fire in the second half. And unfortunately, we have to tell the lads they've done well. 2-0 is a good result by our standards. United normally absolutely batter us. They're just a point off the top with a game in hand. Still favourites for the Premier League title again. And although we're miles off Europe and it doesn't look like this will be the year, we're still very comfortable in mid-table. 7 clear of relegation. Top of that mid-table pack at the moment. And Tottenham 11 points ahead. Probably a little bit out of reach. But a good game, a good performance. We had our moments. Coppens should have put us one up. And after 6 games undefeated, we've lost that unbeaten run. These things happen. So we'll go and deal with the press conference off camera. But we've got one question to ask before we look at when we'll be back and wrap up. Where do we need to improve in January? So for me, I think right back's a must. Because Lewis James has come in this season and looked awful. His ratings dropped. His training levels dropped. I'm not sure about that. I know it's because we've had to rely on him more than normal, but he was first choice and competent last year, and he's just fallen off a cliff. Johnny Davila potentially out to make some funds. He's third choice at the minute. Aaron White playing quite well. Balic having a good season. And Davila, he's not really had great chances. I mean, he's done okay. 1 assist in 2 appearances. But I don't know that he's going to be our long-term solution. I don't know where else the problems are, though. I mean, Santos I'd like to loan out because I don't think he's getting good football there. And we can leave Gleedler as 4th choice. We've got nothing to play for. I don't know where else to improve, though. So let me know your thoughts. I think we've got a fairly good squad. It's just letting them improve. And the training facilities are obviously holding that back. So let me know what you think of that as well. I've been asking for a few episodes now. We will make a decision in the end of season review this year. And we'll come back with the answer in episode 1 of season 15. Where it doesn't look like, unfortunately, we'll be in Europe. Unless we win the Carabao Cup. And that's where our focus is going to be next episode. We are going to be back for the penultimate game of January. It's the second leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final against Manchester City, the current Premier League leaders. Of course, with the away leg first, we could be out of sight. We might not have a chance. But fingers crossed we'll still be in it going into that one. It's a really important game for us. I'm really quite keen to see how we compete over 2 legs against a side like that. Particularly with our home leg being at Craven Cottage, which has harmed us this year. We've really struggled not playing at home, and next season I think that'll make a big difference to this young side. We'll also reflect on our January transfer window so far. Of course, about a week ago we got that news. I think it was after the Wolves game actually. We won in the Cup, that was our make or break day. And then we got the news before Norwich that they were happy. So now we can start to focus on what we want to bring in. Where do we want to improve? Of course, you've seen from the budgets, we've got to sell first. We need to get Davila out. We need to get Santos on loan. We need to get Lewis James out, and then we can find a replacement somewhere. But if we can get one little bit of gold dust in the squad, then I think that could carry us through this season and maybe push us towards Europe next year. And maybe it'll make a difference in the Cup as well. But if you did enjoy this episode and seeing us not get completely humiliated by Man United, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments what you think of all the sagas in the boardroom and off the pitch. Something we haven't had too often in this Dorking save. And the training facilities are a nightmare now. We will have to make a decision, won't we? Give me your predictions for the Carabao Cup. How far behind will we be going into the second leg? And how many new additions will we have helping us by then? We're going to need bargains this time. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for daily FM20 content. We've got this series and our head coach story every day at 4:30, apart from Sunday where our stadium review series returns. Last week was the turn of Luton Town, my hometown club. I really loved that one, so thank you all for your support with it. And this week we've had a new season in the head coach. There's plenty of excitement and it seems to be really taking off over in Germany. So lots of good action to come in all of these series. Transfers galore next time out here, hopefully. And maybe an appearance in a cup final at Wembley. There's also a couple of episodes a week from Cricket 19, Wednesday and Saturday at 1 o'clock. And then of course every Tuesday our live stream series with Burnley. It's the Youth Academy Challenge at 10 AM every single Tuesday. So please do pop along if you can. I really do appreciate it. I love hanging out. We've got a great little community. So please do come and say hello if you can. And finally, thank you for your support over on the podcast channel. I've been interviewing loads of professional footballers the last couple of months. It has been a dream come true. I never thought I'd get the chance to. And I'm absolutely loving it. So thank you to everyone for your support with that and making it possible. Some of the views on the interviews are absolutely ridiculous. So thank you so much for checking them out. Please do head over if you're able to and give them a try. Hopefully we'll have someone related to your club in past or present time. And we'll be able to keep you entertained at this difficult time. So thank you so much for your support as always. I really do appreciate it on this channel and over there on the podcast. And hopefully I'll see you next time for a big January transfer window and a massive semi-final in the Carabao Cup.